into the draft, where their minds are at, what they're thinking. Hard Rock Mine is the map, Gem Grab being the mode. I really do love this one. I think it's one of the more balanced. And as I'm saying, balanced, I think the poll over at event.brawlstars.com, very much the opposite of that. Very much weighted, I would say, in favor of Reconic on the left-hand side there. 85% of those voting there think that they will get the win here. But hey-ho, Trav, I am a big fan of the underdog stories. I'd love to see one here.
Yeah, I would as well. I will say, rather the 15%, I don't know if that's too accurate, but Reconic are definitely the heavy favourites coming into this one as well. And yet again, we're seeing some more Max, and it does not surprise me. Ban-wise, we're seeing Lola, Crow, B, RT, Ruffs, and Janet on the other side of things as well. And, Max is very good brawler here. I just feel like we see it a little bit too commonly on in South America.
Good bans all round, I feel. I can say, though, the Max has been very much valued, but I think I prefer the value of the Meg here myself. It does feel like a map mode that really caters for it more than others. I don't think that Meg, as we were saying in the break, is necessarily a brawler that you can just play everywhere at the moment. Love that from Matt FA, by the way. Sandy here is very underrated, but is getting some more airtime, and I'm very much for it. But definitely the Meg is going to be an issue. But yeah, Sandy Lane, Meg mid is kind of where my mind would be at, because simply the range of that Meg is going to be more suppressive in that position. Carl going to come in for Reconic, which I don't mind. Further the Otis myself, actually, all things considered, but the Max to help, it's going to be a big, big attribute trap, but not really that kind of real aggressive side lane that you'd expect to have on Hard Rock Mine on the side of Reconic, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I do like what they've kind of brought in here. I will say, with Sweet Dreams, we're probably going to be able to shut down quite a lot of those tailspins coming in from Carl. But Otis, I think it's solid. When you can mute out a Meg and get her out that Meg form, it's going to be a lot easier to deal with her. So I think that's probably a smart pick, but Stu going to come in as the last pick from Matt FA. And I do prefer Reconic's comp. I do feel like we're kind of lacking that definitive mid for the side of Matt FA, and I think that kind of might come back to hurt them.
I like this team myself, I'll be honest. It's one of those things that can just really cause a real issue in the back spawn area and just prevent you from being able to carry out the objective. Andy, I think, is a big turning point. I think, for me, it's a tough one. I think they're pretty balanced drafts overall, but I think I'm swaying a little bit more towards Matt. But as we've learned from time, Reconic have had great performances in the monthly finals, made the grand finals, and that might be the testament to them. Skill and experience maybe outweighing things, but it's still so early to tell. Let's give Matt FA a chance to see what they've got to bring to the table.
I mean, the control they've got so far is pretty solid. Tano's going to be able to cycle out this super quite nicely, and they're making a very aggressive push. Christian be able to phase shift through one of them, but not really be able to avoid a lot of the damage of the rest. Ander's going to get taken down eventually, but got some good control and a good gem lead off this control that they did have off the start.
Well, Meliodas has got to heal up just a little bit now as Tanner trying to dance around two brawlers on the bottom right-hand side. Christian and JXCR now going in, and JXCR is a very, very good player when it comes to those really aggressive stances. We saw him absolutely popping off last month with the buzz pick, and Carl as well, and many others really in your face and able to pressurize the situation. But at the moment, Reconic are behind slightly here, as Matt FA really have brought a lot of aggression to the table, but Anders going to go down there. JXCR cycling through this like it's butter. Beautiful stuff. Gets the line up, gets the takedown as well, and now Reconic have bought themselves some valuable time here. Meliodas is going to be very, very careful. Below 1,000 HP there, and just now healing up, but I don't think Matt FA are far out the woods just yet. They've got to be able to pick themselves up here, and that was a bit too close for me.
Yeah, Meliodas does fall low as well. Get some heals off along the way, that gadget, but Christian's very, very low right now, has to retreat, and Toxic maybe over-aggressing for the amount of HP that they had. Tano's going to be able to sweep him quite quickly. Meliodas now onto 9 gems and surviving it out as well. Speed available for Christian, but they're going to have to make big, big use of this because countdown's about to start.
A lot of pressure. Speed zone helping out considerably so for Matt FA, really, and Reconic Esports haven't really been in a position to be able to do much about it as Tanner gets to take down Toxic. Now, That mid has got to be stayed firm within, and JXL might not be seeing this coming. He's gone in with the flying hook. So aggressive, and he is punished for it. And on the right-hand side, just out of harm's way, gets away with it, gets to steal 17 gems in the pocket, safe.
Gets out of hand and gets away from them in this game. And looks like we might be seeing Toxic rotate over to that mid and allowing Christian to play the lane.
Big punch to the gut early on. The Reconic, they've got to pick themselves up. Brush off the dust and get back down to business because they're not used to being necessarily behind. How will they respond? JXCR, flying hook, but it doesn't really lead anywhere at all. Straight into the hands of Vander, who secures it quickly. Meliodas now, though, out of mecha form. He has to get that Urn back in to have that ability to suppress that mid as Toxic now. Lurking around, has got the mute as well to hand, but is outnumbered heavily here. And now the Sandstorm coming down. Rude Sands is the star power, hence the damage now. And Toxic surviving on that 2 HP, that bare slither. But look at the control. Look at the amount of ability that Matt FA have got here to control this mid. Reconic Esports are really struggling to get involved here, Trav.
Yeah, they can't really move anywhere, and Tano's doing such a good job of this right-hand side of keeping Christian back. The same over the left-hand side. JXCR and the Sandy up top, and now Meliodas getting TP'd on, and a nice flying hook, a good spin as well from JXCR. Not going to find the kill, and Overseed is welcome a little bit there. A bird up Christian as well does get the kill. A little bit of pushback now from Reconic, but maybe just a little bit too late. It's going to be 8 if Meliodas can get that one, and almost even if Toxic can.
Big plays on the left. Potentially bigger plays on the right as Christian goes in, but Tanner was there. The support network of Matt FA still holding firm, but it has bought some time for Toxic to be able to get 8 in the pocket from the mid for Reconic, and this is looking better. Christian with the speed coming in, keeps Meliodas back, and a no right in the middle of everyone. 3 versus 1, never going to happen. They're going to work out the mute pinpoint precision onto Tano. That has allowed for a countdown, and plenty of time for it. They can even bring back one more from the mid here if JXCR wants to come through. No, he just wants to go for the big bag, and he might almost get it. No! Meliodas shuts him down, but I don't think there's going to be a chance for Massive to get one from the mid here. It's got to be a takedown, or is there a second in time? No! It's
1-1 in gem grab, and it was a good answer as well because they weren't in control of pretty much any of that game, and the Meg just really proving such a difficult thing to take down in mid.
It's very chaotic, but Meliodas from the mid will secure it. Big taps though from Toxic. Healing up now. Take a pop with the gadget will help do just that. Sander on the right-hand side is getting tapped up. JXCR knows it comes with the flying hook, but it is shut down by the Sweet Dream stun of Vander. Really nice plays from Matt. They've come so well prepared. I've got to say, they're very quick to establish control and establish positioning power. But it's not an easy thing to shut down JXCR, I can assure you. He's so accomplished with the aggressive nature of the brawlers that he chooses, but they are doing that for the moment. Now 6 gems in the pocket, and Reconic haven't really had a look in so far. They've got to get it in this game.
Yeah, Christian down this left-hand side yet again. Toxic throws out that fat splatter. Does find Meliodas, but Ander with such great control, and he's in this invisibility as well. Not that it matters because he is in the grass, but you need to find one of those flying hooks and a spin onto pretty much anybody on this Matt roster. Otherwise, it's not going to end well. And there, down goes 2 of them. Nice stuff from Reconic to answer back now, and a wonderful push from Christian to find this control.
Meliodas is really far pushed back here. Got to find a way forwards. Christian keeping the control on the left-hand side makes him reconsider the prospect of the left-hand side lane as Tanner goes down the right. JXL now can move in. Flying hook already activated. He's going to go in for it, and he might even get it, but Meg goes down. No HP, though. Tanner will get the clear up. Very easily done. I think that just kind of goes to show just how strong Meg is at the moment. Definitely in need of a bit of a tune down, because in my opinion, Akash should be able to win that transaction and be able to escape on some level, but with that shield that you get when you come out of the mecha form, it's just too difficult to ensure a takedown, and that's why Meg is, for me, such a great gem carrier at the moment, really. 9 gems to the 8, JXCR trying to go in, Sweet Dream stun yet again. It just feels like everything Reconic have got to throw at this situation gets thrown straight back. They have got countdown, but they're losing control of the mid. Where are they going?
I mean, they can't really stay in the mid, this Sweet Dream. I mean, the Sandstorm's really difficult for them now. 10-10. Mute going to be missed as well. Little phase shift up top from Christian to try and get some work done, but JXCR might be able to get a hand here. Countdown now starts for Matt, but there is still someone behind them. Their positioning has got to waver soon, and I'm sure it will, but 12 picked up now, and there's no reset if they don't manage to get this, but in comes JXCR. He's there again, the spin away though, and they get the reset. That should be fine. They should be able to get this from mid now, but I think he actually might have dropped a gem on them. No, he didn't. It's 11 to 12, and there's still a chance Christian gets this, and the reset's there yet again.
It's getting intense. Meliodas trying to get that support network on the left, but in the meanwhile, gems have been dropped in the mid. Christian comes to collect. Countdown is there. Another gem dropped in the mid will bring things back to even. 13 apiece. We're getting dangerously close, Trav. The 29th gem, and you know what happens when that comes? Nothing will stop what follows. At the moment, both sides are being stubborn around the situation, but now is the key one. And where is it going to be? Meliodas is banging the mid, but Christian might be able to dash for it. No, he actually drops them all. Tiger comes in, clears up shop, and that is surely going to be Matt FA security.
Why would you risk that? Just let them walk onto your side, do the damage. There's no need to aggress that. Surely that is going to be a big mistake from
going the distance, really, because Reconic, you know, they are the sort of squad that will respond, especially in high stat. Again, flashbacks to last month when JXCR was playing on safe zone and was just bouncing between everyone on bus. But they didn't win it. I do remember they did not win it despite those flashy plays, but nonetheless, they are very good at just asserting authority in this mode. It is one for them. Maybe he'll even bring it out again. Who knows? It is potentially viable for Hot Potato, although I prefer maybe a Primo, but bans at Ems needs a notice to Reconic for Matt FA. It's Ems, Colette, and Ruffs. First draft coming in. I don't see this being a Meg map, Trev, but again, stranger things have happened today. We saw, I think, the Max first pick early on this map, and I'm not a big fan of that either myself, but I think the bans, though, are pretty solid. I would love to have been able to, you know, snag an Ems early on. Colette as well. They are two of the really big heavy hitters. You can't write it, Trev. You can't write it. Max is the first pick for Reconic. It's not, and the Primo that I was just talking about as well. I don't mind the Max. I just feel like it's not necessarily the best mode for it. Depending how much I prefer here, then that can work out fantastically well. But the Primo from Matt might well be responded to by Reconic with something like a Buzz. But we'll see how they want to play this one. It would be within their character for sure, but it is certainly a problem. We've yet to see really anyone pick a hard Shelly counter. I'm still waiting for that. I think it's still really viable now. The amount of speed she has, you can just sit back on defense. You don't even need a spike.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. And I mean, the return pick from Christian with the Daryl, it's good. It's going to have the good push with the max speed, but getting it into a position where it can do damage is definitely hard in comparison to Primo, where you just launch yourself across the map. Dynamite going to be picked up by Reconic now as well, and with Matt having this last pick, there's definitely a bit of a chance to counter that out, but with the unbreakable walls, it has become a lot harder to be able to deal with these throwers on this map. It's not in positions where you can get the damage, but getting up the map has become a lot easier, definitely.
We saw pretty much this very idea yesterday in the EMEA, the Dynamite versus the Primo, and it actually worked in favor of the Dynamite. It depends on the player for sure, and just being able to be very much aware of your surroundings, use great gadgets with Satchel Charge normally is the go-to in the competitive scene, and Edgar coming in, and actually I don't necessarily mind it here. I did yesterday in the EMEA when we saw it played out, but there wasn't really the right kind of matchups to warrant it, but here I absolutely am down for it. Edgar did also receive a recent balance change as well that I think it's worth to mention. So very small little buff to HP, nothing really to write home about, but nonetheless, you know, just that 200 HP more might be the difference maker. We'll have to wait and see. The Brawl Stars team did sort of hint towards a potential rework in the future for Edgar, and it was more just something to be dealing with and going on within the meanwhile, but definitely will give Reconic something to think about when it comes to that Dynamite and just being a bit more aware, a bit more protective. As you can see, JXCR just shadowing there Christian, because when that Edgar goes in, he might not go out there straight into the arms of peril, and that is not what you want to see, is it?
No, I mean, that is just disappointing for them, really. Like, you can't be pushing up and not scanning any bushes whatsoever, but Meliodas now just put himself in harm's way, and obviously couldn't really duke out too much, but Anders going to be going aggressive and trying to get some damage on safe. Tano's going to sweep up the defense, but not much has been done by the side of Matt Effie, regardless of all their control. It's actually Reconic are in a decent lead.
do like the max speed there just to get everyone back straight. Look how quickly they were able to get JXCR onto the safe recalling rotator as well for additional damage. And there's only 24% left to the 65 on the other side of things. And I've got to say that was a very, very solid start. We felt like we've only just started this game. And look how quickly Reconic Esports are to get off the mark here. They've got to. They've already tested the waters of Matt's FA and Gem Grab. And now they've really got to up their game, it seems, and they are doing that. Big jump in from Meliodas, but does not connect with JXCR, and that is so much damage dealt. Reconic are back.
He's going to roll underneath you. It's pretty obvious that's going to happen, but this time it's actually Reconic who were looking very, very good in comparison to Matt FA, who were looking very dominant in that gem grab set. With the Meteor coming down now from Meliodas, getting the break, and in goes Ander, getting the kill on the Dynamite early on yet again.
Talon is getting a lot of value from this feed here, as JXCR does not seem deterred at all by having to juke it. Penny turret already straight away for Tano. That might change the way things go, but those bushes now, it's that wide open space. It's going to leave Meliodas very much exposed there. Xander gets Christian on the right-hand side. Damage coming in. 24% or so, 26% rather. Christian takes care of the turret as well, the left-hand side, but Matafe do need to start to assert their authority just a little bit more. They are concerned, of course, about the fact that JXCR is still with Christian. Satchel charge missed there, so a gadget wasted for sure. The jump in from Ander. Well timed for the most part, but JXCR now rolling in. Salty Barrel, and there's so much HP to have to deal with. I think Matafe have got to be a bit more cautious to really double takedown that Daryl pick. It's causing them a big problem here.
Yeah, I mean, they can't do a lot because he's got to jump on the Daryl to be able to get the Dynamite, and he's not able to get the Dynamite without feeding the Daryl or actually going down to the Daryl, so difficult spot, but Tano now on the safe. The same with Ander as well, getting some damage down. Toxic trying to defend, but looks like we got some up top as well. Good jump this time by Meliodas. Doesn't actually get the kill, though. The burn down damage eventually will, but not without sacrificing a shot to the safe as well, and this is surely going to be it. Christian, throw a super on Toxic, get some shots in, and that's going to be the set to Reconic Esports.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, going now into Ring of Fire. Hot Zone is upon us. A very, very different draft. There needs to be a Meg ban here. Meg was already good on Hot Zone prior to the rework, and I think therefore it's going to be banned by pretty both sides effectively. But certainly if you are losing that coin toss, you don't want to be taking many chances here. I would love to see Amber come into the equation. I'm not sure why South America has not really cottoned on just to how good she is. At this point, I'm just predicting the draft, aren't I? Meg coming in. We haven't really seen any Meg heal combinations yet today so far. We'd like to see a bit more of that, but I do like the B and the Janet ban. RT as well from Matt FA. Really good awareness of the meta actually there. And the B, the Lola, and the Carl for Reconic. But I just don't know why Amber hasn't really started to gel with... I love it. We haven't seen any Meg Poco, but I think that was kind of wise for Matt FA to pick, actually, because it takes it away from the hands of Reconic. I feel like, honestly, when you combine Meg with a healer, although that Byron does seem to be a thing in South America more than most other regions, it makes it just even stronger. So let's see where they go from here, but I'm liking it. Luke, love that. Absolutely love that from Matt FA. Great stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart to try and keep that Meg off the zone. I will say, as you say, that Byron is a great, great pick. Mac's going to be the second pick from Reconic, and honestly, I wouldn't mind a Byron on top of that as well. We saw it played yesterday in the East Asia region. A lot of those world final level teams, world champion teams, were picking it up and playing it along with that Meg. So maybe it's a smart decision to go with something like that, but I also do think they need that lane. However, I kind of think maybe it's just going to be a very mid-focused fight with obviously Poco, Lou, Meg, Max. It's probably going to be down the mid the majority of the time, but Eve is going to be the last pick of Reconic, and I don't know if I like that too much.
Not a fan of it myself from Ring of Fire. We saw it played out a little bit when Eve came into the mix in all the regions, really, and it kind of just as quickly kind of disappeared. I mean, there is, of course, now the new additional mythic gear, quadruplets coming in, providing an additional spawner when you have your egg hatch. So I can kind of see that maybe this region are favoring it somewhat, and there is a bit more maneuverability in the corner areas on this map to really float around that lakeside area. But I just think there's better picks. Amber. I know I just keep banging on about it, but it is just that good. You place down the oil in that gap area upon your opposition spawn, the sticky oil gear, it just is so good. 20% slow on anything that has to go through it. And if they don't want to go through it, then they've got to go around it. It wastes so much time. Even Bo, actually. But I absolutely have seen a Bo pick here for Reconic coming in as well. but it'll be a meg mid, so that's kind of where Bo would like to situate as well. You'd have to kind of double down on the mid, not really ideal. So, but something more aggressive on the lane side, I would like to have seen, for sure. But let's see how it fares. So far, so good for Reconic, but it does seem like both sides being a little bit cautious to tip the toe into the middle. But Tanner going down there will change that. Speed zone will be taken care of by Christian. And now leaving Meliodas all alone. It's a great start for Reconic. Full control. And the objective being played out, but now the priest coming in, that might change. Toxic is going to be skitting and skating all around that mid.
Yeah, and another one as well from Lou here. Super coming in from Christian over the left-hand side, solo speed, but they've just walked straight over that zone, and now Matt are the ones in control. Shouldn't be too hard to hit Christian up top here as well, but he's flying under the radar in the bushes at the moment, not really shooting. And JXCR not getting a lot done, not hitting too many shots either. The super coming in from Ander, getting the heal off, but yet another Lou super should keep them off whilst they go down.
I really do love that Lou pick. How many supers is that already? It's cycling beautifully well. You'd have to see it. Toxic coming in, trying to get Tanu here, and he might be able to. It's Christian who finds the scraps there, though. JXCR coming up the right-hand side, trying to get this pinch off. Can't quite find Ander. Will he find Meliodas? Yes, good taps there. They've got to go Gadget out there. And more maneuverability when it comes to being able to evade Tano. It's that angle of precision there. Now he's getting tapped up. The speed zone as well will allow that more maneuverability. Christian stunned too. Toxic goes down. A good retake there for Matt FA.
Yeah, really nice stuff from them. Need another retake from Reconic Esports, so as this could quickly get out of hand and there could be 2 sets down. There's the quadruplets coming in and 4 of them spawning, pushing them back, and Toxic almost being stunned out by the Lou here, but quickly rotates away, tries to get super on the mid and makes use of this, but no mech now for Toxic is going to be very difficult to get work done. Tano going aggressive, getting the dash through, getting the gasser heals is really, really strong from him. Heal there as well, and surely this might be game. Good takedowns though, and good shots might flip it the other way.
Kind of wonder there whether maybe just Toxic went in like that just because he could respawn with mech. Actually, you know, he was going straight into a really difficult position to get anything from it. To be able to get super and get out. No, I'm too convinced he would have been able to manage it. Toxic, or rather Tano coming in there, gets taken down, and that freeze in the zone really is cutting all his worth. I don't know how Christian evaded that shot, but he won't avoid the second. Meliodas gets that swiftly taken care of. As now Reconic try to muster something up here. They are behind, but on the zone now, freezed out. As another one comes down and really hits Meliodas. Doing such wonderful work, but is it going to be enough now? 89% on the zone for Matt FA. But Reconic are fast on their heels now, 84%. I think Matt is just going to be able to do it now with the respawns coming in, everyone just cycling it in.
Now the nitty-gritty, it forces your opponents to make aggressive moves and make mistakes, and that's what Reconic did. These Lou supers are really causing a big, big problem for Reconic.
Early gadget pop there from Toxic. The jolting bolts, and I can understand why, but now the freeze coming in again from Meliodas, and that will bring back some troubled memories of the previous game for sure. Big tap there from JXCR, finds the angle beautifully well. We'll heal up just a little bit before taking care of the speed zone top left. Now the hatchlings will be coming in as well, but Anders in an aggressive spot down in this bottom right-hand side. Toxic has to respect it somewhat until the speed comes in, and now the suppression starts. Great action work there by Reconic. Now they retake a lot of control. Team wipe entirely as they get stuck in now to the lanes and the mid. Looking really, really good.
Yeah, and they're just having some spawns coming in off JXCR now, and they're getting a little bit of control back. Super goes onto that zone, and Toxic almost stunned out. Meliodas needs to find a shot onto him. He does get the stun, but no follow-up shots either, and Christian's not going down here. Great stuff from him to stay alive and take Meliodas' focus off Toxic and allow him to heal up that little bit more to keep him in that mech.
Now though, Toxic in a very troublesome position, goes down out of the mech form, and surely to his peril, but this is kind of where I struggle with the mech rework, is because now he's rewarded for it, straight back in with a mech, and it's just too oppressive in my opinion, especially combined with the max. You're actually kind of rewarded for going down, aren't you, really? And now Reconic able to recover from this, but I've got to reiterate just how wonderfully Meliodas is performing with that Lou. He goes down there, but he's been cycling so well, and it has been the glue for Matt FA's strategy. Not sure where that swipe was going there from Toxic, but nonetheless, be able to heal up, and yeah, another one goes down on the zone. Xander brings back control for Matt FA and brings back the deficit, most importantly, and it is all thanks really to Meliodas.
Yeah, eventually going to be going down though, and Tano now getting swarmed by these hatchlings. Can't really do enough damage to get rid of them, and this might be Reconic answering back here. Tano just dashing through and getting the gas heals on with it as well, and trying to get the heal, but yet again it's missed. And it looks like this might be a Reconic game. Meliodas not got a super just yet, and he goes down once more. Toxic can just stay on the zone, get the swipe off, doesn't actually get it off before he goes down, but regardless, they're going to be able to take the game, even things out.
Stages in that quarterfinals that we don't cover in the monthly finals anymore. It's just so exciting to see it be neck and neck with Reconic, who have just been the shining star, really, of this sub-region. And it's, you know, in the nicest possible way, I think it's great to watch them struggle. You know, it's great competition. Let's see how it fares this time round. Whoever takes this game will be up a set at a hugely important moment. The hatchlings do come in now. There's an 18% start there for Matefe to work with. Big heals coming in from Hand of the Tuning Fork. Now the big freeze coming in from Meliodas, and a big stun onto Toxic will deter him from the zone and maybe even get him out of the mech. Oh, there you go. Lose the answer to mech, isn't it? On Ring of Fire. It just absolutely is. And as quickly as that, it's back with Matt FA.
Yeah, I mean, there's just super after super for Meliodas here, and the same for Toxic, to be fair, but it doesn't matter. He just throws another one onto him there, and he doesn't mind if it's not getting the value of keeping him off the zone at this point, because he's getting the kills on Toxic, and he's the main damage dealer. He's the main zone control. He's the main everything for this combo of Reconic Esports, and they're walking away with this one. Matt FA getting the kills and getting the control and the percent along with it.
Really great aggressiveness. Tanu managed to win that against Christian. Oh, that's got a sting. Jexia almost got the pick up. Didn't quite manage it, but it looks like Toxic should be it. I'm eating my words. Tano is juking wonderfully well here, and he's still going. You might even get the takedown on Toxic here as well. 67 HP. He's still going, Trav. Christian coming in with the speed, and he's going to get taken care of as well. What? Yeah, just simply acting as a constant deterrent, really, there, and just goes to show it's all about the objective. Backyard Bowl coming in for Brawl Ball, a very wide open space. You've got to consider that when it comes to that defensive line. Having a wall breaker goes a long way on this map. And it will evade those stalemate moments that we sometimes used to have in Backyard Bowl, and now with the unbreakable walls as well. Definitely a greater chance of a draw, but nonetheless, it's the aggressive brawlers that will sway away from that idea. Meg's available. That's just what I'm doing now today. Just every time it's there, calling it out. Reconic will pick it, and then I'll go back to Matefe and they'll pick a Meg. Oh, no, sorry, a Max I was going to say. But it is banned out by them, as well as the... Okay, I was not expecting a Lola.
First pick?
That's a bit weird for me, because now it's got Meg and Poker written all over it, has it not? Or you know, certainly the Meg, but the bands at least were Artie, Carl, Max, and then Max, B, and Bell on the side of Reconic.
I don't have an explanation for Lola first pick. It's just not something that you see. You don't even really see it on this map, never mind as a first pick. The bands have to line up perfectly for it to be coming in as a last, never mind a first. So I don't know why Matt's taking so long to pick Meg either, really. But at the end of the day, you know, there's still a lot open. There's still a lot that can be played. They're going for the Janet, and I would not be surprised if a Meg is up next, because they can't really give Lola Meg to the other team, or that can be a lot of DPS coming down quite quick.
Always a safe pair of hands for South America, that Janet. I don't mind it, but I prefer the Meg. just putting that one out there. Definitely would. And something of an aggressive nature as well. Wouldn't go amiss. Wouldn't mind even a Pam here. And yeah, it's got to be. It just has to be. Can't afford to hand that draft back over and not lock in that Brawl out. I'm with you, Trav. I don't understand this Lola pick. Not as a first draft, and I think that this is where Matt FA have really just outshone Reconic as well, because their drafting has been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, especially in Ring of Fire, as we just saw. They took control massively over the situation. I just got to hope, for the sake of Reconic here, that they've got a game plan in play. That's not a bad response. I don't mind that response, but I just still can't see how the Lola fits into the strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're going with Lou. It's not the same as Hot Zone. I don't think it'll work the same. It's a good counter to Meg, as we saw in the last one, as you've just said. But it's not really the same, is it? There's 3 choke points instead of 1, and the Meg can come up pretty much any one of them. Stu's decent, can keep out of the range, weave in and out of some shots, but if Matefe can get a last pick here, then I'm thinking maybe they're going to finish this one out 3-1.
I'm kind of with you. Penny coming in now for Matt FA, which is a really, really good one. Again, new gears in motion. Pet power for Penny will provide 20% more damage to her turret. And you can normally just tell it's indicated in the icons beneath the brawler. So if it has a little bit of a difference on left and right side, then that's an indicator that the mythic gear will be in play. Rather the epic gear, isn't it? Rarity for Penny. But JXCR picking Stu does give me a bit of confidence because, you know, those are the aggressive brawlers that he was really thriving on last month. But this is a new month, quite apparently so. Who would have thought coming into this one that Matt FA, after getting stomped in the quarterfinals by this very team last month, in a sweep, bringing things back to 2-1, and in my opinion have a winning draft, secure it and make the grand finals right here, right now. The question is, will they do that, or will Reconic put down the gauntlet, put a stop to things and take us to the fifth and final set? We're about to find out.
I mean, the control early on is a good indicator for Matt FA. Drop base can be placed now as well, and Christian versus Meliodas is a very close match, but eventually Meliodas is going to come out on top. The Lego being placed now by JXCR, and he does actually clean up the right-hand side, cycles it as well, but a Penny Mortar's there to answer.
Tano does need to get quickly back into mech, but Toxic and JXCR pinch off there, turret down for Ander, causing a little bit of concern for Reconic. They got to maneuver then a bit differently, and Ander yet comes out on top, as you'd expect to see. Tano comes back in. Toxic going very aggressive onto Meliodas, but it's wide open there. The shot off the line by Christian, just in the nick of time, but got to admire that observation to really try to land it, and it was a very difficult angle to get, and that was about as good a shot as you'll find, just not quite the timing to see it through.
Little shots onto Christian there over the left-hand side now, and he is quite low. Ander trying to find the killing blow, but does actually just go for that mortar instead and try to take him down this way. Tano needs a super, and if he gets one, surely it's going to be a goal. Penny Mortar not going to hit just yet, and Toxic trying to stay out this drop the base, but can't. It's 3v1, and this might be a walk here. Meliodas getting the damage down, and that's a walk if I've seen one. 3v1, Christian can't do anything on his own, and Matt FA 45 seconds away from a match point.
Crucial time now for a response. Reconic have got to go aggressive early. They've got to get Tano at the mech. They've got to secure Ander, but that turret is going to act as a big body block, and Meliodas has got the escape mechanism as well. Christian needs to cycle the way that we saw in the previous set to the side of Matt. Pass through here would be so good if they can just get a takedown. Plenty of time for it, 20 seconds of the clock. As Meliodas takes to the skies, they've got to really use that time to get the ball and try to make that 3 versus 2 work, but then now they're in such a difficult position as the 3 versus 2 is against them. Nothing really that can be done here. Nothing really that can be done at all. Toxic's all alone. Nothing. Just nothing.
Good month in, month out. This month just doesn't seem like their month, and at the moment, Matt FA are going to be walking away with this one yet again because their comp's on their side, and if they played the same, then it's going to be game wrapped up here.
No more second chances now. I don't really feel like Reconic have really adapted with that much urgency, and now I'm sure they're feeling like they've got very little time to manage the situation. They're stunned out, 800 HP, will go down out of mech form. Pushing the ball through though, as Ander frozen out by Christian just in the nick of time there. Carelessly gets taken, concedes shots to Tano. That will slow down the healing process and allow then Matt FA to push it further. And the turret will start to take its toll. It's already causing a problem for Toxic as Tano goes to the right-hand side here. Everyone's low. All the HP in the world for Tano. They can surely just walk this one in, but they passed it. They should be able to take care of Christian regardless, or maybe not. The stun just in front of the ball. He can't get the pass. Meliodas finally gets it, and now he is sliding. Somehow finds his way to the goal. Oh my word, that was almost a disaster moment for Matt FA.
Managed to get it in the end though. Penny Mortar is dropped down, and it's going to start raining once more, but Speed Zone out the back for Toxic now. Meliodas going to tank one of those shots with his Speed Zone and with his drop the base and get his super off the back of it as well. Flight available and not a stun just yet on Tano. He's moving forward little by little, and this Ego is not in a good spot for him against Ander. Gets the takedowns, and super is available now for Tano. The swipe's there, but Christian gets the stun out and the super along with it as well. Ball plays forward instead of backwards. I'm not sure about the decision, but Tano's kind of been left here. There's not really a lot they can do. Christian might go down to him as well, and he's doing wonders work with only his Meg form, not even the Meg.
tough one here. The Reconic under so much pressure, and time is almost up. Matt FA having such a fantastic opportunity here to go to the grand finals. Reconic have got to wake up. They've got to smell the coffee. They've got to get this ball forwards, get some takedowns, and they're just flustered, and they're all over the place. 20 seconds left. It's got to be now or never, Trav.
And I think it's probably going to be never. 17 seconds, they're still pinned. One goes down, one left. JXCR the only one available and the only one who can make something happen before the clock runs out. Christian's there, but the ball's there as well. Matt FA take them all down, and they're going to be going to the finals as they upset the whole of the region and take down Reconic Esports SA.
Brilliant stuff. The underdogs coming out on top, and you can just see how much it means to them. You love to see it. I thought I said curse for a minute there. I was thinking, what's going on here? But again, I've got to bring it back around to the context of which they've made it through to the grand finals. Last month, this team placed off against the quarterfinals against Reconic Esports. They got absolutely stomped. It was a 3-0. But they took on board the learnings, went back to the draw.